True. An Evening at the Movies is a proud member of the I Did Not Make These Rankings podcast network. Other shows in the network include Mass Debaters, The Sip List, Crushgasm, Love is Black, Men Are the Prize, Crime Rewind, and Literature Reapers. You can find out all about our shows and more at idnmtrpodcastnetwork.com. Happy listening. You are now entering the world of a movie review. A world full of drama, joy, ridicule, movie spoilers, unpopular opinions, and adult humor for as far as the eye can see. Welcome to An Evening at the Movies.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to your favorite movie-based podcast. This is An Evening at the Movies. And for those of you who don't know, I am your gracious host, Frederick Charles. Well, at least this week I'm Frederick Charles. So this
Not
is
a
the
flex,
podcast where,
though.
hey, I can flex all I want. That doesn't necessarily mean that my muscle doesn't do the whole Bugs Bunny drooping sag thing, but it is what it is.
Depending on which theory you subscribe to, he's a bad, bad dude or a really, really bad, bad dude. So neither of those sound like you.
Um, um, we do, we will get into at some point over the next little while discussions on the levels of badness that is Frederick Charles. So,
He's either
but
Bundy or Epstein, or both. So
there is a reason why I walked out of the remake in 2010, and the main reason was Jeffrey Epstein.
I guess we better say we're talking about Freddy Krueger. I know I just spoiled it before we got into it, but people are probably going, "What the fuck are they talking about right now?"
Well, I mean,
Sorry, me with the spoilers.
most of the unpopped kernels follow us on the socials, so they
Fair.
know. Well, before they know all that, they know that this is the an evening at the movies where we eat the stale popcorn, we drink the watered down sodas, we talk about all of our favorite movies and why we love them, and then sometimes, occasionally, we pay tribute to amazing, iconic directors that deserve to have all of the love and support showered upon them,
Fair.
which is what we are here to do today. But before we shower said director with all the love and respect that he deserves, everybody say hello to your favorite co host.
Hello, everybody. What's up? It's me, Amanda. It's me,
It's
Amanda. Phew,
to her, Mario.
me, Mario. I don't know why I love saying that. I just do. I'm sure people are tired of it. Ask me if I care.
I mean,
Um,
I've known you for 5 going on 6 years. Yeah, you don't care.
I do not. Um, in today's version or today's episode of Information Nobody Asked For, I have bought the fourth installment of a vinyl album of an album I have yet to hear. So, thanks, Taylor Swift. That's right. I have ordered 4 different copies of an album I have not heard. That's how committed I am. Uh,
So, starting next week, we will be taking over under bets from the unpopped kernels that are watching as to how long it takes before we get the unsolicited Taylor Swift reference from the co-host.
to be fair, I think today's drop is the last one because the I have a theory about these different vinyl colors, and it really makes sense. And other people share this theory. I didn't come up with it, but it's a very valid theory. And if it's correct, this is going to be the last one. And I really hope it is. There's six different, well, seven technically, because there was a pre order that we still don't know what it was. There's seven different versions of this vinyl and four different CDs. So if the theory matches up, this should be the end of it. If it doesn't, I don't know if I'm buying anymore because honestly, this is not a thing I do.
You get
Like,
the horse.
I don't normally buy more than one version of an album unless it's a different edition. Like, I have two copies of Rumors by Fleetwood Mac because one was a record store release picture disc. So it's a collector's item. I have two different copies of the Tortured Poets Department because one's the regular one and one's the anthology, so it has an extra like 13 songs. I have two copies of Folklore because they're different versions. Other than that, I don't typically buy the same album in five different colors. Like other Taylor Swift fans do that, and that's cool for them. But this one, I was like, oh, that's pretty. And they're cheaper than her normal vinyls are. They're only $30. Usually they're like $50, and I can't buy that many. And now that I'm invested, I'm like, well, I've got one of each of the, so she drops two every time, and I've bought one of each of them. And I'm like, I'll display them in my new office, and they're really pretty. And anyway, so yeah. Thank you for listening today to today's episode of Information Nobody Asked For.
To steal a phrase from the great Ross Geller, I believe the phrase you're looking for is anyway.
Very true.
Uh, so today we are here um, to bridge the gap between Hitchcock Month and Stephen King Birthday Bonanza because, well, if you're not watching live, you'll be watching slash listening on Saturday, August 30th, which is the official gap between the two. And
And
can
if you are
worms
watching,
open
drop us a comment.
all over? Huh?
I said, if you are watching live, drop us a comment. Say hi. We love
Yes,
comments.
exactly. Because it's been a while, and I actually have my comment tab open on the screen, so I can see when people text. Supposedly, unless I'm doing something wrong again, but that wouldn't
I
surprise
always
me
have
either.
it on there because we don't use private chat when it's just us, so I always have it on the comments tab. So
Yeah.
anyway,
So, but like I was saying, um, we are going to, as this episode is releasing on Saturday, August 30th, it is the 10th anniversary of the passing of um, the iconic director known as Wes Craven. So we're going to celebrate him today and discuss one of, if not, yeah, I think it's probably a safe bet to say it's probably one of his two greatest movies that he ever directed. I'm not going down that road and debating which one is better than the other. I mean, that topic may come up again here in
I mean,
45 ish minutes.
yeah,
Only because you know what my top five list is for
yeah.
that section of the show. So, um, but yes, for anybody watching and or listening who does not know, uh, Wes Craven was born August 2nd, 1939 in Cleveland, Ohio, graduated from Wheaton College and Johns Hopkins University. So I've never heard of Wheaton College, but Johns Hopkins is a very prominent university in this country. So there is that. He was active in Hollywood from 1968 to 2015. And in case you need references, I'm pulling it up as we speak because I wasn't writing it all out. I took screenshots instead. Not that one. Bloody hell. What? Oh, there it is. Do 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 do. Hi, people. Um, so obviously he is most notably known for creating the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, as well as he directed the first 4 Scream movies in that franchise as well. But other movies that he directed as well: The Last House on the Left, The Hills Have Eyes, The People Under the Stairs, Red Eye, Swamp Thing, The Serpent and the Rainbow, Shocker, Vampire in Brooklyn, and Music of the Heart.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Um, like I said, obviously, 10 years ago, he passed away on August 30th, 2015, at his home in Los Angeles, California, from a brain tumor that he was suffering from as
Yeah,
well.
sucky.
So, it's very
Oh,
sucky. And also, on top of it, really quick though, he did receive several accolades across his career, which includes Scream Award, Fangoria Chainsaw Award, and nominations for a Saturn Award in 1995. He was honored by the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films with the Life Career Award for his accomplishments in the horror genre. In 2012, the New York City Horror Film Festival awarded Craven the Lifetime Achievement Award as well.
lovely. He was a great, great
And
director.
I would put it, as far as in the genre goes, I would put him as one of the 2 best of all time.
Oh yeah,
Again,
definitely.
like with the movies, I'm not debating which one of the 2 directors is better. I feel they can both be on a high plateau and be celebrated for their achievements, both of
Well,
which are
and they were
responsible for.
colleagues and they were friends, and I think they bounced ideas off each other, and there was room for both of them. I mean,
So,
you can debate who is better. I have my opinion, but it's going to be a very close race, and we both have a different opinion. But either way, it's still very very
mhm,
close. So
in my opinion, the margin of difference between these 2 is paper thin.
yeah,
If there
I happen to
was,
what
I was just gonna say, if there was no Wes, then in my opinion, John Carpenter would be number 1 easily.
Yeah, I just think that John Carpenter set the standard. I mean, I know Last House on the Left was before Halloween, but Last House on the Left wasn't what we consider to be like the standard horror movie slasher. Like John Carpenter really set the standard for that, and it was like everybody wanted to do that after. Um and not to and I'm not
If
saying they
last,
copied. I'm that's not what I'm trying to say, but I think it was an inspiration and it was a playbook for other people to like embellish on. And I know just
if
because it
Last
was
House on the
first doesn't
Left
mean it's
is,
best, but Last House on the Left is its own like great, although hard to watch movie, but great. But it's not in the same realm as Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. They're just different kinds of horror, in my opinion.
It's one of those things that I honestly feel like um, you can believe Silence of the Lambs is a horror movie if you want. I'm not telling you you're right, wrong, or indifferent.
I'll tell you you're wrong, it's not. But okay.
If it's going to be classified as a horror, though, it is definitely a different kind of horror movie.
Right.
I think Last House on the Left could fall under that same category where,
I think because Last House on the Left, you really see the killings and it's very traumatic, not just obviously the rape scene, but also the killings. I think it's more classified as horror, in my opinion, because you really see like the revenge that they get. Whereas Silence of the Lambs, you see some stuff, but it's mostly implied. It's not that gory.
oh, and the same can be said for Jaws because you only get about 3 moments of blood in that whole entire movie.
Well, but I think I guess it depends, what you classify as horror. I think there's a fine line between tension and fear. And so that's why Silence of the Lambs
Oh
is
yeah,
a very either or, because to me, Silence of the Lambs is tension. It's a thriller. I feel tense. I feel ready for something to happen. I don't feel fear. Whereas when I watch Jaws, not anymore, but when I used to watch it, I feel fear. When I watch Halloween, I feel tension, borderline fear, and then I feel fear for real. So that I and everybody experiences those emotions differently. So I get why Silence of the Lambs is like a borderline, because if you've suffered certain kinds of personal trauma, you're going to feel those emotions differently than maybe other people would. So, you can't define it, but in my opinion, it's more tension than horror, but whatever.
so
Anyway, yeah.
again, long discussion, probably best suited for a different day. But
This could be a really
really
long
quick
episode if
before
we
we
don't control ourselves. Sorry. I'm sorry.
exactly, we are almost 20 minutes into this thing, and we haven't even talked about officially named the movie that we're discussing yet. But really quick though, before we get into that though, uh, upon his passing, as well respected and loved as he was, tributes were paid in his honor by such people as David Arquette, Adrian Barbeau, Angela Bassett, Bruce Campbell, Heather Langenkamp, Nev Campbell, John Carpenter, Courtney Cox, Joe Dante, some guy named Jonathan Depp, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Lloyd Kaufman, Jamie Kennedy, Rose McGowan, Christy Swanson, Edgar Wright, Amanda. I hate this last name because I
I think it's Weiss.
you knew
I'm
which
not
one I
sure.
was talking
Yes.
about, and then obviously, last but not least, Robert England.
What
So
movie was Adrian Barbeau in one of his movies? Am I crazy that I can't think of what it is? I mean, I guess it
I'm
doesn't
pulling
matter.
it up
It
as
doesn't
we
matter,
speak.
but what?
Mm, mm, mm. Uh, well, anyway, I, I I'm pulling it up as we move into the meat and potatoes of the episode, which
All right. Go for it.
is we're going to talk about a Wes Craven movie. And for those of you who don't know, um, we do occasionally the habit of audio only reboots. So stuff we talked about before, or I've talked about before on solo episodes that need to get redone for the YouTube. Before we've talked about this movie, I talked about it on my own as a solo, but we're going to have everybody's favorite co-host back and discuss it today. So, um, 1984 classic movie, A Nightmare on Elm Street. So, for those of you who don't know, November
We're new.
9th, exactly, November 9th, 1984, the movie was released, directed by the icon himself, Wes Craven, released by New Line Cinema. It had a budget of $1.1 million. Um, had a box office of 57.1 million. And currently, and the reason I say currently is because we're rapidly moving into the spooky season of the year. And as we all know, the spooky movies that aren't currently available on the streaming services generally become available in the next few weeks. So I'm hoping these will become available for people to watch in the next several weeks. But as of right now, you can only rent the Nightmare on Elm Street movies online. So, with all of that said, I do have some Rotten Tomato scores.
All right.
Uh, I have two of them. I have a tomato meter and I have a popcorn meter.
Pants 1,000 degrees.
You,
Okay.
hi
Sorry.
George.
He says hi. He's still sick. Okay. So,
He sounds like shit.
yeah, he really does. He sounds terrible. Poor baby. And he had to talk all day. um, I honestly don't really know. I've been thinking about this for like the last hour, and I keep going back and forth. I am gonna decide. I think that people, having watched it later on, generally like it. Um, popcorn meter. I'm gonna go 87%. Tomato meter. I'm gonna go 83%.
You were closer with your popcorn than you were with your tomatoes.
Was it lower? The, was the critic score lower? Don't tell me it
Uh,
was lower.
your popcorn meter score is 84% on 250,000 plus ratings.
All right.
Your tomato meter score on 66 reviews is 94%.
Shut the fuck up. Wow.
Ah,
Okay.
you can pull it up after the show and look.
I
I'm
believe
not
you. I
saying you
just,
doubt me.
wow. No, I believe you. That's just surprising, especially for 66 reviews. But okay, cool. I'll take it.
I mean,
Samsonite, I was way off. Okay.
I mean, I could sit here all night and chap my lips on the, the butt that is Nightmare on Elm
Oh, I
Street,
know.
but I'll try and keep it to a minimum for your sake.
Okay. Well, real quick before I get into the plot of the movie, obviously you mentioned some things that Wes Craven was recognized for this movie specifically. No big awards, no Oscars or BAFTAs or Golden Globes, but It was nominated for a Saturn Award in 1995, which is the horror and sci-fi awards for people that don't know. It was nominated for Best Horror Film. And then, interestingly enough, the guy who plays Rod, and his last name's Garcia, I cannot say his first name, so I didn't even write it down, but he was nominated for Best Performance by a Young Actor. Um, and then the National Film Registry added it to the thing in 2021 for being, culturally relevant, blah 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 blah. And Freddie landed as number 40 on AFI's list of 100 heroes and villains. Obviously, he landed on the villain side. So yeah, that was about it.
I
Not a
don't
lot
know
of awards.
why.
I mean, not a lot of awards to speak of, but again, it's horror, so what do you expect? All right.
I mean,
For people that don't
we're
know,
in the early to mid '80s. There's no horror love from the academies at this point.
I mean, there rarely is, but yeah, especially in the 80s, nothing's getting anything. All right, so for people that don't know, here's the lowdown on Nightmare on Elm Street. Several Midwestern teenagers fall prey to Freddy Krueger, a disfigured midnight mangler who preys on teenagers in their dreams, which in turn kills them in reality. After investigating the phenomenon, Nancy begins to suspect that a dark secret kept by her and her friend's parents may be the key to unraveling the mystery. But can Nancy and her boyfriend Glenn solve the puzzle before it's too late? Dun dun dun. Let's get this.
Spoiler alert: Glenn ain't solving shit before
Yeah,
it's too late for him.
let's get this out of the way just real quick before we dive into the movie. So this is supposed to take place in Springwood, Ohio. Halloween gets a lot of hate for some of the goofs, specifically in one scene where you can see a palm tree for like zero point 0.5 of a second. This movie is so fucking unapologetic about all the palm trees. Like the funeral and where they're standing on the bridge, there are palm trees all over this goddamn movie, and we're supposed to think this is Ohio. Like,
Mhm.
they clearly, Wes Craven and Bob Shea and all those people clearly did not give a fuck if people thought this was Ohio or not.
Again, I
The budget did
mean,
not allow.
$1.1 million budget.
Yeah, I mean, I realize it's California and it's hard to hide the palm trees, but at least John Carpenter tried, y'all.
I mean, hey, speaking of John Carpenter hiding tree elements, I would be remiss in the fact that I bring up the fact that somebody who had a job working on the Halloween movie and was responsible for spreading the leaves throughout the streets of Haddonfield, Illinois, is a gentleman by the name of um, Bob England, Roberto, Mr. Freddy Krueger himself. So,
Very cool. Another goof.
Halloween fun fact on a Nightmare on Elm Street
Yeah,
episode.
that's a very good one. The other goof, and I was today years old when I spotted this. I have seen this film no less than 40 times. It's probably way more than that. I have at least 40 times I've seen this movie. Spotted this today. Maybe it's because I was watching it in 4K. When Rod pulls Nancy into the bushes, it's very quick. You have to be looking for it, but you can see somebody walk by in the background behind them once they get into the bushes. And it's like some random person wouldn't just be walking by if they heard a girl screaming in the bushes and not stop. So
Yeah,
that made me laugh. I was like, what? I
this
had to
is
rewind it to make sure I saw what I saw. So yeah,
this is 1984, I believe, when the movie was. Yeah, it was probably spring of '84 when this was filmed, and there was an awful lot of Bundy and Ridgeway and like kidnappings and all of that shit.
yeah.
So to just to have somebody walking down the street going to school, and then some dude in half dressed dude, mind you, because he's still semi naked from banging his girlfriend to death,
At least he had
literally.
pants on.
Well, no shirt, but a leather coat because everybody wore leather coats in the freaking 80s.
Yeah.
But yeah, grabbing her hand over the mouth and dragging her kicking and screaming into the freaking bushes. You would think people would scream bloody murder over that.
And the person didn't look like a crew member. They were walking by very casually, like somebody just walking down the sidewalk. It was weird. But yeah, he had to have the leather jacket. I mean, when you're a jet all the way, right? Okay, sorry.
Exactly. And well,
I think about half our audience isn't going to get that reference, but that's okay.
well, I mean, we love the unpopped kernels, but
When you're a jet, you're a jet
yeah, if
all
you
the
don't
way.
know West
Dun,
Side
dun,
Stories,
dun,
then
dun. Okay.
y'all have homework to do. So, um, yeah,
All right. So where do we
what
start with this movie?
about this movie? I mean, yeah, I'm just trying to figure, do we want to go? Let's fucking go to the dark side. And what about this movie absolutely rubbed you the wrong way?
I mean, like things I don't like about it, or things that scares me about it, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, well, we're talking
Okay.
about the negative stuff about this movie
Um.
with the express written consent that we're going to get a certain topic out of the way right off the bat so that we don't have to
Wait, which topic? Because I
worry
don't.
about
Are we talking about the end of the movie? Do we want to go ahead and talk about that? Is that what you're getting at? Or are you
the
getting this? I don't know what you're getting
level
at.
the level of evilness of Frederick Charles.
Oh, I mean, so if we're just talking about this movie and even the ones up until the remake, okay, so the question is Freddie a child molester? I say no. Obviously in the 2010 remake they heavily imply that, or maybe they even say it. I don't know because I didn't finish that movie. I don't even feel like that was ever implied in this movie. They say child
They
murderer. I,
expressed it in actual legitimate words.
okay, I mean, I couldn't finish that movie. I think I got maybe 30 to 45 minutes into it and I've blocked it out of my memory. But if you're talking about this movie by itself, I mean, no. He's a murderer and I
Ironically,
think that's enough.
ironically, if you had waited about 5 more minutes, you would have gotten the actual word vomit that came out of
uh,
the mouths. So, but that probably is my biggest pet peeve about the remake, and it is the moment that I got up and walked out of
yeah.
the movie theater because the Freddy Krueger I grew up with was not explicitly labeled a child molester or pedophile.
Right.
Like
And
they literally come out and say child molester in the remake.
And again, I don't know how
And
old you were when you saw this movie, and we invited my brother, and unfortunately he couldn't make it, but I wish he was here because I have a really good story about the first time we saw this. I won't tell it right now, but it, I grew up watching this movie since I was a young kid, so I wouldn't have even known what that meant. But even watching it as an adult and knowing what I know about the world, I don't even feel like it's implied. Now, had I been a parent in 1984, maybe I would have felt differently. I feel like I should ask my mom. I'm going to text my mom and ask her actually. Um because maybe maybe because of the way the world was, maybe it was implied and we just don't get it, but I don't feel like this movie tried to go there. I really don't. And based on interviews I've seen with Wes Craven and other people, I don't feel like that was ever the implication. So I stand by that. I don't think Freddie was ever meant to be a pedophile, and I don't like that implication. I don't think it's necessary. I think being a murderer of children is enough to be terrifying. I don't think we need that. We don't need to add layers to that.
Yeah. That is basically the extent of my feelings on the topic because I don't feel like you need to go all the way down that road to make Freddy that level of creepy.
Right.
If somewhere in your own personal warped mind you want to have the molester word pop into your head or pedophile pop into your head, I'm not judging. I mean, weird sicko, but okay. Um, but I don't feel that those two words have to be a part of the story, plot line, or character of Freddy to make Freddy as evil as Freddy is.
Right. Like I don't feel like that was ever needed, especially when we get the other movies where obviously they go with the he was a abused child. Like that's the easiest thing to go with, just like they did with the Halloween remakes. Like
Mm-hmm.
abused child is the easiest reason to say why someone's evil. I don't think you need to add the layer of them also being a sexual predator to make it worse. Like it's just not these aren't those kind of horror movies, and that enough of that horror exists in real life that I think being a child murderer was risque enough because in the 80s you weren't allowed to kill kids. So yes, he's
No.
killing teenagers, but they're saying he was killing little kids is what it sounds like. So that by itself is terrifying enough because that was like an unspoken rule in the 80s is you couldn't kill kids in movies. So I
So
think that's scary enough. You don't need anything else.
I believe the implication with all, I mean, if you actually, I've seen a couple of documentaries about these movies, and I know if you stop and want to nitpick and go over the timeline with a fine tooth comb and all of that, like Nancy Thompson is 16, 17-year-old teenager.
Maybe younger, because they say Tina was 15. I mean, these kids all look like
Okay.
they're 20, but you know what I mean.
Well, I'm fucking Rod looks like he's fucking 25.
Yeah,
About the only one that doesn't look like he's in his 20s is freaking Jonathan Ray Depp. But
yeah,
I mean, even then, at the same time, I think he was 19. I think I saw in an interview when he said he got the role. But to go back, I mean, everything that happened, because you find out towards the end of the movie that Freddy is responsible for killing all of these parents, children, blah blah blah, and they all get together and hunt him down and roast him and turn him into the massive dream master that they do. But um, for Nancy not to remember any of this though, and not to remember that she had a brother or sister, it would either have to have been before she was born or like very early after, like they pig, like the 6 weeks was up and they conceived another child
yeah.
and 9 months later the baby was born.
Don't get me started on how these timelines don't make sense. I mean, like I was just telling you when I'm watching part 3 and Nancy's all, "Oh, you're the last of the Elm Street children." These kids wouldn't have even been born when this happened. Be- unless they all have much older siblings and like there's just no way time-wise because Freddie killed all these kids in the 60s or 70s. So, and then this is taking place in the 80s, the original, and then what, Nightmare 3 is like
which
what,
is like
1988, 1989? Like there's just no way, but
87.
whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a fifth. No, it's like mid-ish 60s when this stuff is happening. So it's probably damn near 20 years in between the kid murderings of the real life Freddy and Freddy coming back and getting
Right.
revenge. But
Okay.
this is one of those movies that I'm not trying to focus on the little minute details. Well, it's not minute, but
Well, a lot of the stuff we're talking
I
about we
don't.
don't know later on. So, we just need to focus on this movie
Yeah.
before we know anything else. So, my
Well,
mom
and
said,
a lot of shit changes as other writers and other directors come in and make their stamp on the franchise as well.
yeah,
So, I mean, Wes Craven was only involved in 3 movies in the 8 movie franchise. Thank God he wasn't involved in that hot garbage that was the remake.
yeah, the first one,
But
3
even
and New Nightmare, right?
first one, 3, and he was minimally he helped write and produce Dream Warriors, and then he wrote and directed New Nightmare,
Yeah. So, my
which
mom
I will
says,
die on this hill that New Nightmare walked so that Scream could run.
yeah, I mean, it definitely helped with the meta thing for sure. My mom says she doesn't really remember because, it was so long ago and she was like 25 in 1984, but she said she feels like child murderer also implied that. So maybe in the 80s that is what it implied, but I don't get that feeling from it. I think a lot of people don't, so I'm standing on the hill that that was not the thing and I don't think they needed to go there with the remake. So, there you go.
Again, I yeah. Obviously, my co-host and I share a brain because we're the plobsters, but
Yeah.
it's a. I feel like the molester is an unnecessary evil
Yeah.
that didn't need to be there. So
Yeah, we don't need it. It's
for
scary enough.
that, from now on, I mean, hopefully the remake will never come to an evening at the movies, but if it
No,
does,
miss me with that. I know
um,
Casey says we will never ignore a recommendation, but you will not catch me here reviewing that hot garbage. If you request it, guess what? I'll be relacing my tennis shoes. I'll be washing my hair. I'll be out of the country. I'll be organizing my sock drawer. I'll be
okay, Cindy
busy. Don't
Manzini.
ask.
So I remember back in the day when an evening at the movies first started, we do have the rule that if you request it, we will discuss it on the show.
That's your
But we,
rule, bruh.
eh, I there's more to that road than I have to bring up. But you know, we
I'm
also
being
did
followed
have
that day.
we also did have a banned movie list, and I believe there were 2 movies that got put on that list, and one of them was the 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street,
What was the other one?
The Dark Tower.
Oh, yeah, for real.
I'm I've watched that movie twice in my life, and that's 3 hours of my life I'm never getting back again.
I'm saying no, and it has Idris Elba in it, so that's how you know it's bad.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, no. Do you have any more bad stuff about the
I
movie that pissed
mean,
you off?
I I mean, the end of the movie, if we want to go ahead and talk about that, or do we want to talk about other stuff first? Because I have a few things I want to mention before we talk about the end, because I feel like that's a, and you and I have never really discussed this before, so I kind of want to get your thoughts on it. But I can see by your
We have my
expression that you
attention.
have no idea what my thoughts are, or my confusion. So,
Well, okay, because like you said, we've never discussed this before. So,
right. Okay. So I really, the end of this movie confuses the hell out of me, and I don't like it. And Wes Craven didn't like it either. It ended this way because Bob Shea wanted it to end this way, and there were several different endings. So I guess my question to you, because there's so many different theories.
oh, we're talking about the cliffhanger.
Well, so do you think, so we know, we find out Nancy turns her back on Freddy, she walks away, we find out the entire movie has been a dream. She's defeated his powers, blah blah blah. Then she goes out to this very hazy where all her friends are still alive, and then Freddy comes back and they drive off, and then her mom gets taken through the window, blah blah blah. Do you think Nancy, when all that happens at the end, do you think Nancy was still dreaming? Or do you think that was a new separate dream and Freddy came back?
That's a good question,
I
and I
know.
honestly never thought about it before.
Either way, I don't really like it, but what do you think?
Well, no, I know that again. Yeah, it's not what Wes's vision was for this movie because in a lot of ways, Wes and Mr. Carpenter had similar visions for Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween, where they didn't envision this particular story being sequelized over and over
Right.
and over and over,
And Bob
watered
Shea was
down. And
already looking for sequels.
well, okay, because whether you want to admit it or not, Nightmare on Elm Street is the franchise that built New Line Cinema.
Right. It's the house Freddy built.
I don't care what anybody in the world says. Like I've seen how many times do you see like the meme or the GIF or whatever it's called
Mhm.
pop up on Facebook where they show the New Line logo and then underneath it it has the words, "What movie do you think of when you see this image?"
Yeah, it's
It's a
Nightmare on Elm Street.
it's Nightmare on Elm Street because, and even Bob Shea will admit it, if Nightmare on Elm Street had been a failure, then New Line probably would have flopped.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I would agree with what he says. And it's a very real statement. I mean, 57, what was it, $57.1 million in 1984.
Yeah.
That's a lot of freaking money,
Yeah.
especially for an unknown. I mean, it's obviously it's not Paramount, it's not Warner Brothers, it's not MGM. It's a basically at the time an independent movie studio. So they really had no legs to stand on,
Yeah.
and I'm sure Hollywood just would have been happy to just okay, well, you made a nice little horror movie, go away now. But you know,
Well, but the thing that I like about the way that Wes Craven wanted to end the movie is it was very Halloween esque. The way Wes Craven wanted to end it was Nancy and her friends. So seemingly she beats him. She turns her back on him, walks away. She's beat him. They all get in the car. The friends are alive. They drive off, and it ends with the little girls doing the jump rope with the song, and then you get the creepy music, and you don't get you don't get the stuff in the car where they're in trouble, and you don't get the mom getting pulled through the thing. So it leaves you kind of like wondering, kind of not as much as Halloween where Michael's gone and you know shit, he's gone, but it leaves you wondering. So it's still like a little bit of a cliffhanger, but the end just doesn't make sense to me because either Nancy won and he came back, or the whole thing was a dream and she's still dreaming. And then 3, where it picks
yeah.
up, makes no sense because how did she really defeat him? Either way. But that, I mean, that's not for this movie, but still. But
Well,
but that last part, because of the way it's shot, to me feels like a dream sequence. So for me, I feel like she defeated him and then he comes back and the end is a separate dream. That's how I look at it. So I don't know what you think. Either way, I don't like it.
it it doesn't help that there's no story continuity moving from the OG into. I was going to try and get through this episode without having to say these two words, Freddy's Revenge.
I
Like literally
I
the only link between those two movies is Robert England.
There's no link, but even going from this one to part 3, there's no continuity. My mom died in her sleep. So did she die in that burning bed, or did she die getting pulled through that window and you were like, again, no continuity, no continuity, but we don't need to talk about that because that's just a whole other conversation. But
Well, no, and again, that's I think where you get into trouble when you've got 18 different people writing scripts for movies and all of that because and I'm not complaining at all, but the same can be said for Friday the 13th, Halloween,
yeah, for
all
sure.
all of them. The more people you bring in, the more chefs in the kitchen, the more the soup gets fucked up.
Well,
If that makes sense.
I'm okay if you want to do different timelines. Like Halloween has done different timelines and it's confusing as
18 of them.
unless you know what they're doing. I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is trying to pretend you're on the same timeline but not making it make sense. As in going from this movie to Nightmare on Elm Street 3. You're pretending it's the same timeline, but you're not giving us enough information to make it make sense. So, like, don't do that. Make it make sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and I don't think everything was properly plotted out in the executives' minds, being Bob Shea and all of that. So I
Right.
again, it's one of those where I love this movie so much that I try and not focus on the little stuff, and I just whenever I turn the movie on, I just try and sit back and enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, but the ending's not little stuff. I'm with you on that, but the ending's not a
Oh,
little
I agree. It's
big
not
deal.
little stuff at all. And I, to me, this movie is a great movie.
Oh yeah.
that I'm trying to think of how I want to word it because this is it's I don't necessarily want to say it's one of the my least favorite endings in the franchise because it's not at all. But if they had come up with a better ending for this movie, or let Wes do what Wes wanted to do,
Right.
then I feel like this movie probably would be loved and respected on a bigger level than what it already is.
I agree. And Wes's ending still would have left it open for a sequel. So I don't understand why
Mhm.
they had to do that and make it so confusing because you don't know if the entire movie is a dream or if it's a dream up to one point and then a separate dream. And if this the last part is a dream, a separate dream, how did Freddie come back? And so did what she do at the end it part like not really work? Like it that ending part makes what she did up to the part where she turns her back on him irrelevant in my opinion. And that's such a powerful moment where she's like, I realize it, this whole thing is a dream. I want all my stuff back. I'm going to turn my back on you. I'm going to take away your power. Like that's such a powerful moment in the movie. And they
It
completely erased
is.
that with the last 5 minutes of the movie. And it pisses me off.
Well, it's not even the last 5 minutes. I mean, we're talking like the last
2 minutes.
two and
Yeah.
a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, it because literally like he and disappears, and she walks out of the bedroom, literally
Right. Like she has this
transported out the
badass
front
final
door.
girl moment and they just shit on it. And it just make like that's kind of my rant about this movie. It makes me
Yeah.
so mad. Like they just undid
Well, I
everything.
mean, I feel again like you can go back and look at the fact that Nightmare on Elm Street is here with a better ending. You know, you can raise the bar a little bit higher.
Right.
Not saying Heather Langenkamp is a horrible final girl because she's not at all. Not Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
I said what I said,
Who
but
is though? Come on.
again, well, I mean, it is what it is. But if you hadn't totally trashed that ending, though, I feel like Heather Langenkamp probably would be respected a little bit more as a final girl than what she already is.
Yeah. And I think part 3 did give her some redemption because she comes in and saves these kids even though and she dies for them, you know. So it makes it gives her
Oh,
kind of a
spoiler
redemption
alert!
arc, but oh, okay. But yeah, I just so that's my biggest complaint about the movie is the ending. But some of the things I really love, I fucking love the dad. You know, I love me some John Saxon. He's so hot. I love when they go into the police station and he's like, I don't want to get into this now. Lord knows you need time. And then he immediately gets into it. I sure would like to know what you were doing. It's like, Dad, you just said.
I
He's such a
mean,
good cop, Dad.
that was one of those things that I started. I've noticed it before, but it really started slapping me in the face this last time watching through the movie again. It's like these parents are really not great
Oh,
fucking parents
they suck.
at all. I mean,
Especially because they know.
well,
Like,
it's like Tina's mom.
Tina's fucking mom. You
Like,
either need to cut your nails or stop having nightmares, one or the other. Man, what?
I
Okay,
mean,
mom, I'll do
obviously
that.
they don't know what exactly is happening, but at the same,
Right, but
even like Roger Rabbit said in the hospital when they're running the sleep test on Nancy, that nobody knows what exactly dreams are and where they come from.
yeah. You mean great value Steve Gutenberg?
Yeah, well,
No, I know,
technic,
but when
but
Nancy
yeah,
tells them at the funeral, red and green sweater, dirty brown hat, you can see in their eyes that they both know. At that point, they shouldn't have waited to tell her. They should have like,
at that point it needs to be
how could she know about this?
let's go to the IHOP and go sit down and have some pancakes and a cup of coffee, and mommy and
Right.
daddy have a story we need to tell you.
Right.
That is my other least favorite thing too. Like, I'm hoping that it was the fact that they're supposed to she's supposed to be coming across as an alcoholic. But when she sits down in the basement with Nancy to tell her the damn story, finally, 18 freaking days later after
Right.
her best friend died, but um, she literally looks at her daughter and tells her it's over. He can't hurt you now because mommy killed him.
Yeah, but he's just killed two of my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Mommy ain't done shit.
Yeah.
Then look, here's his
Well, I
knives in
mean,
our basement.
yeah.
And then look, mommy's gonna
Oh
put bars
Lord.
in the windows and bring down the value of the whole neighborhood. That'll protect us.
Yeah. How well that
Oh,
work
that
for you?
ugh.
Literally within 5 minutes, he's getting pulled out of the dream and chasing your daughter through a house that was booby trapped in way too short of a fucking time.
I will say there are a lot of inconsistencies in that whole booby trap scene that bother me, and I just kind of like don't look at it because it's supposed to be fun or whatever. But when her dad busts down the door, everything's normal. They go towards the basement, and she doesn't even it doesn't even register her that the door's open. And then all of a sudden she's like, "What the hell?" and goes back, and there's all the fiery footsteps, and it's like those weren't there when she opened the door, but yet they ran straight through that path. Like what?
Yeah.
But it's an 80s horror movie. What do you expect?
Again, we're back to the whole point of I don't think it's a huge issue to have to sit there. I just give me my story, give me my movie, and let it just
Yeah.
wash over me and let me enjoy it. Because
That's just the overly critical person that we sometimes
yeah,
are. So,
no, agreed.
um okay, so this is the last thing I want to say about the movie, and then you can say whatever and we'll do what we do. And you and I have had this conversation before. Um so I want to preface this with saying Halloween's my favorite franchise. We know this. It always will be. Has a special place in my heart. It has shaped my love of horror, whatever. That being said, I will say Nightmare on Elm Street, out of all like the let's say the big 3, big 4, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and Texas Chainsaw. I kind of forget about Texas Chainsaw, honestly, but other people love it, so we'll throw it in there. Out of those 4, I think Nightmare on Elm Street has the most terrifying concept. And it may be because I am a person who suffers from night terrors, nightmares. I have my whole life. I
Mm.
do to this day. It's terrifying because you have to fucking sleep. You can stay away from, don't babysit if you don't want to get killed by Michael Myers. Don't go to BFE Texas if you want to get killed by Leatherface. Don't go to the fucking woods if you don't want to get killed by Jason. You have to sleep. You can't avoid it. And so I I know what it feels like to be scared to go to sleep. Not because I'm scared I'm going to die, obviously, but to have that level of stress because you're scared you're going to have nightmares, like, and it does. It takes a toll on your body, it takes a toll on your mental health. So that's a real thing. And so, definitely, this concept, which Wes Craven came up with from this like LA Times article that he read. And I really would love to learn more about that because it was a real thing that happened to these immigrants, these like immigrants that were in some
Hmm.
kind of refugee camp. These teenagers all died after having nightmares. Like, that's insane to me. I will say, out of all like the kind of big four slashers, whatever, this has the most terrifying concept. And it definitely scared the hell out of me as a kid. And yeah, you have to sleep. So they definitely Wes Craven did a good job with this because it is terrifying for sure. So kudos to him.
So, spoiler alert, that thought process was literally the third sentence in my review.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm not complaining at all. I mean, but I literally wrote, this. I mean, even to the extent that you can not babysit, you can not go camping, you can not go swimming in the ocean.
Are you serious? That's hilarious.
Yeah, it. I mean, that's the way our brains
I
work.
know, I know. Well, sorry I stole your
You
thunder.
know, not hang out with a freaking plastic freaking doll.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, everybody has to sleep. You cannot avoid it.
yeah.
And at that, I mean, in that exact world, once you your eyes close and your brain goes into that mode, sleep mode, you're helpless to what happens between your ears.
And you
You
can't
can't
control
control it.
it. Even though Glenn's like,
No.
oh, just tell yourself it's just a dream and turn your back on it. You can't do that. Although,
Yeah.
interestingly enough, 2 nights ago, for the first time ever that I can remember, I was having a nightmare and I said in my dream, please let this be a nightmare. Please let this be a nightmare. And then I woke up. But other than that, you don't know you're dreaming. So how can you say this is just a dream? Let me turn my back on it because you don't know you're dreaming. That part of the movie is also dumb. Sorry.
No, and I've had dreams that felt literally like they were real life events happening to me at the
Right.
time. I mean, there are some others that I've had that are like, yeah, no.
But like, I know what
But,
it's like to forcefully stay awake because you've had such a bad nightmare that you don't want to go back to sleep. When I was 17, for 6 months straight, I had a recurring nightmare. And I would say at least twice a week, I have nightmares now. I mean, you can ask George. I wake him up probably at least once a week, like yelling or moving or whatever. So yeah, I mean, nightmares are no fucking joke. It messes with your body and your mental health, and so you can't avoid it, and it sucks. Like if
yeah.
Hypnosil was a real thing,
And,
sign me the fuck up. I'd be first in line.
and for those of you curious, coming up in October on an evening at the movies, we will be venturing deeper into the Nightmares for Amanda world as we tackle her most favorite aspect of the horror scene, but we'll get to that at the end of the show
Yeah.
when. But no, to me, this movie is just well. Do we want to get to do our top fives
Yeah.
really quick
Yeah.
before we get to the reviews? Because
Yeah.
I'm literally about ready to put chapstick on so that I can kiss this movie's ass.
And I gotta go make some dinner. So yes.
You
All
just
right.
hungry? What?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so my top 5 is, top 5 Freddy kills in the entire Nightmare universe. And this was hard because, I really did my best to not choose more than one from the same movie. There is one that I tied 2 from the same movie because I just couldn't leave them both off. So number 5, we're gonna go with Mark from part 5, The Dream Child. That's the comic book kill with all the paper cuts, and then he pulls
Yeah,
him into the comic book.
yeah.
Just that one cracks me up. I don't know why. It's very creative.
I, I mean, I can make an argument for just about having a favorite kill from every one of the movies, probably except two.
I mean, there's some good kills in part 2. I did not pick one from that movie because honestly, I haven't seen it in so long that I the only one I remember that I think I remember was cool was the coach. But also it's because he was a dick. But it's not on my
Well,
list.
true.
Um, my number 4, and this was hard because there was 2 from this movie that are really, really good. But I went with Spencer's death from Freddy's Dead, the video game death.
Ooh.
One's so good. It's so funny and so clever. The other one was the hearing aid one. And I can't remember the character's name, but that one was good too.
Oh, yeah.
But
Uh,
I went with Spencer.
Carlos.
Yeah, thank you. Number 3, I went with Joey from Dream Warriors, the waterbed kill. That was a pretty good one. How's this
How's
for
this
a
for a
wet dream?
dream?
Yes. And then number 2 is my tie because I just could not choose between these two. They are both from Dream Warriors, and it is Jennifer and Philip. Both Dream Warriors probably has the best kills out of the entire franchise. Taryn, as much as it cringes me and I can't watch it, is an amazing kill. Philip and Jennifer, just mwah, chef's kiss
So
on kills.
there are two movies that are responsible for my disdain for hypodermic needles. One of which is Saw 2.
Yeah.
The other one is Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Yeah. Oh, I
And
can't. I can't.
yeah, mm, let's
I
get
also
high. Mm.
I have a really bad aversion to body parts having faces or being animated. Like those commercials where like toes are like animated and talking or like anything like I can't so and that's really gross. Like it's great practical effects, but it grosses me out so bad. Like I cannot watch her death. I look away every time. Um, which means it's really good what they did, but I can't. It's too cringe. And then number 1, obviously, it's Glenn. I mean, one of the greatest deaths in cinematic history. And you know, the way that they filmed that and how they were able to do that in 1984 is just like it's perfection. So,
Yeah, it's
you have to love that.
obviously not CGI, and
Right.
literally to have to build his bedroom on a inverted carousel and strap everything down and bolt everything down and then rotate the room and
Well, and
wow.
same with Tina's death. Like the shit that they did on this doing stuff upside down is just amazing. And I
Yeah,
love the throwback to Tina and New Nightmare when they went with Julie's death. Like just awesome. So awesome. So yeah.
yeah. I mean that was one of those things in New Nightmare that I really loved, was the fact that there was so many throwbacks to the different movies as well.
Yeah. I will say my number one honorable mention was Chase from New Nightmare, getting killed by his own invention, by the hand, by the glove.
Oh, the
Yeah,
yeah,
I thought that was pretty brilliant, but just it wasn't. It was cool, but it wasn't like as impactful as the other ones. So there you go.
yeah. So, um, elephant in the room. Obviously, we're paying tribute tonight to the greatness that is Wes Craven. So, probably wouldn't be a fair tribute unless we, in some way, shape, or form, rank his epic movies. So, the fact that Amanda and I had virtually the same topic, I went ahead and uh, let her have that one, and then I'm going with the low hanging fruit, and I'll say it. We're gonna My top five is top five West movies.
Nothing wrong with that.
So um, I have honestly three honorable mentions just because I don't feel like these three movies should get left off of a list and not recognized. Uh, honorable mention number one: The People Under the Stairs.
Yeah, good one.
Honorable mention number two: The Hills Have Eyes. That movie, no, dear no. That movie creeps me out in ways that I don't even want to be creeped out anymore. Number three was also number honorable mention. Number three is the connection between Adrian Barbeau and Wes Craven. Adrian Barbeau was in The Swamp Thing.
Okay.
Number five, and mind you, I I don't have New Nightmare on my list, but I'm lumping it in with.
Scream.
Well, no, I'm
Oh.
lumping New Nightmare in with. When I name my number one movie, it's
Oh, you're putting all the nightmares together?
yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
the franchise. I'm labeling
Gotcha.
the
That makes
franchise,
sense.
not specific movie. So number five, Last House on the Left. Um, well, no, I guess I didn't lump them together. Never mind. Throw that last statement out the window. The
All
one
right.
before Last House on the Left. Number four, probably one of my favorite hilarious Wes Craven movies of all time because I love Eddie Murphy as well. But it's Vampire in Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Um, Looking down at my list is when I realized that I did not lump New Nightmare in because number three is New Nightmare.
Oh,
Again, New Nightmare set the stage for what was soon to come with my number two movie, which
yes.
is Scream. And number one, obviously, is the end all be all. In my opinion, not doesn't have to be in everybody else's opinion, but number one, A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Uh,
So,
lump New Nightmare in with that and add Red Eye to that list.
oh my god, I totally forgot about Red
That movie is so good.
Eye. What the Serpent
That's
and
a
Rainbow.
very like people don't know that he was part of that movie.
Yeah, I mean, again, insanely talented director with an insanely creative vision.
And honestly,
I mean,
Shocker was such a guilty pleasure as a kid. I think if I watched it now, I would probably hate it. Maybe I need to go back and watch it because I haven't seen it since I was under 18. But I remember my brother and I would watch it all the time and just laugh our asses off. It was so funny.
yeah, I think I was like 12 years old when I watched it.
That was one of those USA Up All Night movies we would watch.
Oh, oh, Rhonda Shear.
Yeah.
So, if you were to give the movie a ranking, rating, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
out of five, what would you give Nightmare on Elm Street?
So I wanted to mention one other thing we didn't talk about just real quick. We don't have to talk about it, but just I want to mention it that I think is cool. Um, a thing that Wes Craven did in this movie that he does in Scream, which I think is genius, is he kills the star in like the first 10 to 15 minutes of the movie. Amanda Weiss, however you say it, is by all accounts the biggest star of this movie. She's the most well-known person other than like John Saxon or like, but of the kids, she's the most well-known person in this movie in 1984. She's been in, I think Better Off Dead was right around the same time. Like not the same
Hmm.
level as Drew Barrymore. Like killing Drew Barrymore is a much bigger deal than killing her, but she was probably the most well-known actor, and killing her off in the beginning, just like killing off Drew Barrymore and Scream, I thought was really good. Um, very,
Well,
very adventurous of a director to do that, or writer, whatever, to do that in a movie. So
and it's been brought up before on this show, but um, I will die on this hill. It takes directorial balls to put a celebrity front and center on a movie poster for all the world to see, and then 5 minutes into the movie, you kill her off.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, Johnny Depp was known for 21 Jump Street, so I could be like
Not until
overstating it, but
after,
this
not
was his first film. Oh, that was after? Oh, okay.
mhm.
Well, never mind then. I just know this was his first film.
Literally, the Nightmare on Elm Street was Johnny Depp's first role.
Okay. Well, then there you go. All right.
So
I
Jump
mean,
Street came out in '87.
okay, there you go. I don't remember. Um, I saw this movie at a very young age by accident. Um, funny story, real quick. My brother and I, when we were little kids, we were obsessed with the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner movie. But we were always asking our mom to watch Nightmare on Elm Street. But we were always asking to watch the Bugs Bunny movie, and she would just get annoyed. Like, you guys have to watch that movie again. You have to watch it again. And one day we were about to ask her, can we watch Nightmare on Elm Street? And she was just in a mood, and we started to ask her, and she goes, fine, you can watch it, but I hope you don't have nightmares. And she puts on Nightmare on Elm Street, and we weren't asking to watch that, but we're not going to correct her. So I'm like 6 or 7 years old, see Nightmare on Elm Street, and yeah, it definitely scared the shit out of me, and it impacted me in a way just like Halloween did. You know, I grew up with it. It's cemented in my memories and my psyche, and it definitely shaped my love for horror. So there's not a lot bad I can say about it. You know, even nitpicking, it's just still classic horror, classic cinema. Love it. Um, it's definitely a 5 out of 5 booby traps and anti theft device books. I
Uh,
didn't want to
I mean,
steal the glove, it was too easy.
well, I mean, that's again low hanging fruit. So,
It's 5 out of 5 airport sound tapes.
oh my god, that is fucking hilarious.
That part was so funny.
Rod gave me this freaking tape so that we can hide the fact that I'm not supposed to be here, but blah 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 blah. And then other shit starts coming out of the boombox, and
Right.
oh lord,
Oh, one more thing, real quick. Don't have to talk about it. I really wish, and I know they didn't really have time, I wish we had gotten a little more backstory on Nancy and Rod's friendship, because Nancy and Rod clearly have a friendship. They clearly care about each other. Nancy clearly likes Rod and knows he's not just a piece of shit, and we never really get any information about that. But
Yeah,
she
because
clearly knows he's not just an asshole. So I liked
well,
that. I liked that Nancy stood up for him, but I kind of wish we knew more about that. Anyway,
you could obviously there's a history between Tina and Rod that's on again, off again.
but that's
Um,
obvious. I don't feel like we need to know about that
yeah,
because you can you can you can make the assumptions about that that are just, the average
even
teenage love whatever.
even the fact that you know there's something off in the whole dynamic with Glenn and Rod.
Yeah, they clearly don't like each other. But Rod and Nancy, Rod's not a lunatic, and when they try to go after him, she stands in her dad's way. Like she's very
Yeah,
clearly trying to defend him and kind of on his side, and it's like, why is she like this? Like Tina's her best friend. Clearly, like, have they grown up? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's not. I just always thought that was kind of a sweet part of the movie that I wish we had a little more backstory on, but it's not relevant. So that's just me. Anyway, go ahead.
I guess we will never know.
We won't.
So, if I was going to rate this movie, I have decided I'm going to give it 1,428 erupting volcano beds out of 5. Um, for those of you who don't get the reference in the number 1,428, that is the address to Nancy Thompson's house. So, haha.
Oh, and the people that don't know, he chose Elm Street because that's the name of the street where John F. Kennedy was shot. And he picked
Hmm.
it because that's the day we lost our innocence. I'm surprised you didn't bring that
Well,
up. I
not
was waiting for
not
you to bring that up.
well. I mean, that's there's so much about this movie we could
There's so many fun
discuss
facts.
and
Yeah.
over and over and over again, but all night. And I know your husband's probably
Yeah.
chomping at the bit for his dinner. So, yeah, a lot of the stuff that I love about this movie, we've already brought up and discussed the whole fact that there's an element of, you know, psychological terror to this movie that
For
just
sure.
fascinates the hell out of me because, like Amanda said, there's no stopping sleep. You have to sleep, and when you sleep, you have to dream. So you're at the mercy of your own
Unfortunately,
psychological mind fuckedness. So,
I would love to not dream. I would
um,
love to literally just be dead to the world and then wake up refreshed.
I mean, there's sometimes that, yeah, I wouldn't mind the occasional dream, but yeah, at the same time, there's sometimes that
I mean, sometimes
you
sex
wake up
dreams
and it's like,
are good.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
I
I'm
mean,
a human, but so, um, lots of fun. Before we wrap it up, though, we have to thank the Unpopped Kernels for being here each and every week. You guys are incredible, amazing, all the adjectives wrapped up into one. Um, but this was lots of fun. Definitely, you know, Wes Craven will be somebody who is missed greatly and is missed greatly on a regular
very.
basis. But it's nice to know that his legacy carries on with all the wealth of various actors and directors that hold true and respect and pay homage to him every time they do their job. So,
Yeah, we have all these wonderful movies to celebrate him with.
absolutely. Even if, one of them is Last House on the Left or The Hills Have Eyes.
I mean, Last House on the Left is incredible. It's just it's a tough watch, obviously. So
The Hills Have Eyes isn't a whole hell of a lot better.
I barely remember that, and I have no desire to watch it again. But I'm not diminishing his art. It's just not for me. So
So, all right. To honor the request of Gigi needs his dinner, I'm just going to say coming soon on An Evening at the Movies. It is Stephen King Birthday Bonanza Month. Coming up, we'll be talking The Monkey, It Chapter 2, Silver Bullet, and Children of the Corn. Uh, we will be joined very excitedly by everybody's favorite momster herself, Lawana, will be back with us, as well as
yay,
I do have confirmation from Mr. Kevin as of today that as long as
yay,
everything is going on well with between his ears, we love you, Kevin, but he will be back with us for one, two, three, four Stephen King birthday bonanza movies.
sweet.
Undetermined, but Kevin will be back with us, so we're excited for that as well. And then coming up after Stephen King birthday bonanza, we've got Halloween Horror Fest. We'll get into that down the road. So because I know what the other two movies are that we'll be discussing, and I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you off the show. I'm trying to give
I already know. I
dumb pop
think.
kernels. Well, it's pretty fucking obvious, but you know, it is what it is. So, but I will turn the microphone over to everybody's favorite awesome co-host, and she can take us out of here, and then go feed her husband because he's probably getting grumpy as we speak.
Yeah. So, this was a great episode. Thanks everybody for watching and listening. And up yours with a twirling lawnmower. No, just kidding. Sorry, I had to. It's the best quote from the movie.
How did we get an hour and a half into this episode without
Don't
somebody
know.
saying "up yours with a twirling lawnmower"?
I don't know. It's that and "fuck me gently with a chainsaw" are the best movie quotes ever. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, we hope you enjoyed this episode and we hope you all come back for an evening at the movies. Goodbye.
Peace out, hair grease.
Ew.